There are so many incredible moments in Marvel canon. But if I told you about the time that Thor fought Kang the Conqueror? Hello everybody, and welcome to another installment of my infinitely long series where I play Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games, and prove that one of my favorite heroes, Thor, is technically capable of defeating every villain in the game. This week, we are facing off against Kang the Conqueror, a threat across all of time and space, in a unique scenario where we will see all three stages of the villain. And you know what? It's unique enough that if you haven't experienced it for yourself, I would strongly recommend going right now and trying it out. Kang is not only unique in the fact that it is a prolonged experience, but also because it has a focus on obligations. We won't have to see our own identity-specific obligation, but due to the complexity of this, I kind of wish we did. Kang's special brand of temporal trickery makes it so that we're going to have a hard time maintaining momentum from turn to turn. The gimmick of this scenario means that if we want to feel the full scope of the scenario, we need to be playing two-handed. Thor will be armed with a Justice deck, aimed to keep the board in check with threat mitigation like Monica Chang and counterintelligence. And Valkyrie will be using a favorite deck of mine in the aggression aspect that utilizes hand cannon to push through overkill damage and send that excessive damage onto the villain. Valkyrie's opening hand is Have at Thee, Piercing Strike, Flight of the Valkyrier, Piercing Strike, Gold Balls, and Helicarrier. As it stands, I want to take advantage of the fact that I'm playing multiplayer, so Helicarrier seems like a really easy pick. Additionally, having a copy of Piercing Strike is going to be beneficial because it will get rid of the tough while also making progress on Kang's hit points. I mulligan the rest of the hand and draw into Take That, Annabelle Riggs, Visit Valhalla, and Aragorn. Not a bad opening hand, but I'm a little concerned that I won't be able to build out the way that I was intending. For Thor, my opening hand is Limitless Stamina, Defender of the Nine Realms, Counterintelligence, Hammer Throw, and Ironheart. Honestly, I think Limitless Stamina doesn't really have a lot of value right away, and our resources are better spent elsewhere. Additionally, Counterintelligence is good, but I'm worried that this is just going to clog up my hand, and I'm going to end up discarding it at the end of turn anyway, so that I can continue to draw cards. And finally, Defender of the Nine Realms is a great card, but it's dead here. So I choose to just keep Hammer Throw and Ironheart and mulligan the rest away. My mulligan is one way or another, Monica Chang and Thor's helmet. Okay, so didn't go well. I think my entire turn is going to be finding Mjolnir and throwing Mjolnir. And that's it. Valkyrie's first turn consists of playing Helicarrier and changing to hero form. She then fires off a Piercing Strike, removing the tough and bringing Kang to 21 hit points. Then she makes a basic attack, bringing the villain to 19. On Thor's turn, I seek out Mjolnir and change to hero form and play one way or another. For me, I would say that my best option is probably going to be Rampage or, oh boy, or maybe Pinned Down. And honestly, I think that if I look into the future, Rampage is probably going to help me build towards a good second turn. So I go in that direction and draw into God of Thunder, Quincarrier, and build support. I play out Ironheart, drawing into Strength. Very well timed for God of Thunder. This is not flawless gameplay by any stretch, but I do think that we're at least doing a good job of generating card advantage. I play out Monica Chang and grab a copy of Surveillance Team. I use all my characters on the board to thwart away Rampage, and the when defeated trigger finds Ancient Warrior. Quick Strike hits me for 2 and draws me into Defender of the Nine Realms and Weapon X. I ready up and Thor draws into Defender of the Nine Realms, Counterintelligence, and Asgard, while Valkyrie draws into Hand Cannon, Keep Them Busy, The Power of Aggression, Genius, and Valhalla. At the top of the villain phase, I remember that each hero was supposed to be dealt an encounter card during setup. Then Valkyrie adds some threat to the main scheme and defends against Kang's attack, taking 2 damage. Then Thor lets Kang have a boost to his attack, as we'll be defending with Ironheart. And the first encounter card up is Corrupted Time Stream, the side scheme that is meant to limit our ability to handle obligations. It also calls for us to place additional threat on it or discard a card from our hands at random. Thor elects to discard, losing Defender of the Nine Realms, whereas Valkyrie adds 2 threat. Then Valkyrie reveals Energy Blast, causing an attack that Monica Chang defends against for the full 4 damage. And the boost ability on the revealed Macrobots gives Kang a tough status card. After catching that I didn't account for the Ancient Warrior during the attack step, Thor draws his first encounter card of Time Travel Hijinks, an obligation that will cause us to lose Surveillance Team. And the second encounter card is Pinned Down, which may trip up my plans due to the crisis icon. One turn in and I already feel like the momentum shifts are starting to present themselves, but I feel like it's critical to just take every round one at a time. Thor's turn starts by playing Defender of the Nine Realms and finding Chitauri Soldier. I lower the threat on Pinned Down to 1 and draw into Energy and Limitless Stamina. I use Limitless Stamina to enable an attack against the Ancient Warrior, then call for an action from Valkyrie to play Asgard at a reduced cost via Helicarrier. I then changed Alter Ego and retrieved Mjolnir from my discard pile, playing it out before passing the turn to Valkyrie. With the first round being so rough on my heroes, Valkyrie's not left with a lot of explosive options. I like to play out Valhalla and Hand Cannon, finishing my turn by attaching the Deathblow to the Chitauri Soldier. I ready up and draw Chooser of the Slain, Valkyrie's Spear, Combat Training, Surprise Move, and Angela. I don't remember what Valkyrie's sword is called, but I would love to see it right about now, because it would make comboing off with her a lot easier. Dragonfang. It's called Dragonfang. And Thor draws Determination, Clear the Area, Limitless Stamina, Lightning Strike, Wiccan, and Surveillance Team. During the villain phase, Kang schemes for 3 against Thor, and the Chitauri Soldier adds 1 more threat. Then Valkyrie brings the threat to 10 of 14 due to Kang's attack trigger, taking an undefended attack for 4. And our encounter cards are Time Portal for Thor and Frozen in Time for Valkyrie. In an attempt to recover, I leverage Surprise Attack to give Valkyrie an extra ready to overcome Frozen in Time, as I take out the Chitauri Soldier. I ready up, and Valhalla recovers me for 1 and draws me another copy of Hand Cannon. I play out the Hand Cannon before knocking off the Tough from Kang. I play out Chooser of the Slain, and I grab Chitauri Soldier. Although in retrospect, I kind of wish I had done this first, because I could have used Overkill to defeat the Chitauri Soldier and dealt some damage to Kang. But you win some, you lose some. This draws me into Have At Thee and Throg. Thor's turn consists of changing to hero form and using Clear the Area to remove Pinned Down, drawing me into one way or another. I attack Kang down to 16, then the combination of Wiccan and Determination bring the main scheme to 8, and I whiff on Wiccan's ability. I use Limitless Stamina to get 1 more attack, taking out the Chitauri Soldier. I ready up and draw Shield Maiden, Take That, Piercing Strike, and Combat Training. Then Thor grabs 4 Asgard, Godlike Stamina, Lightning Strike, Hammer Throw, and Clear the Area. At this point, I feel like we are in dire straits. Thor needs to get a handle on all of these side schemes that are brewing, and Valkyrie is just looking for some face to punch. Using Hand Cannon to shoot at Kang is appealing, but it feels like we're not getting the full use out of our cards by doing that. And honestly, where is Valkyrie's sword? Where is it? I would like it. Why have I not found it yet? With the threat being at 10 of 14, I have to realistically consider giving Kang the attack boost. Then again, if we think we're going to have a strong enough turn, it doesn't matter. We can defeat Kang and the main scheme just goes away. It may be foolish, but with Valkyrie's low defense power, I have to push the main scheme to 11 and still make a defense. I take 3 damage, but at least I'm still in the game. Thor gives the boost to Kang and also defends, going to 9 hit points. And the encounter cards are Microbots for Thor, drawing him into God of Thunder and Hammer Throw off his Have At The ability, and Temporal Shield, meaning that we're going to have another speed bump as we try to get even the tiniest bit of damage onto Kang. I catch that I did not give Valkyrie another encounter card off of the Hazard icon, which puts Ancient Warrior into play with Quick Strike, meaning that I need to sacrifice Wiccan if I'm going to keep my heroes stable. Thor starts his turn out by playing Hammer Throw, defeating the Macrobot and delivering some damage to Kang, bringing him to 13. I play Clear the Area, buying the heroes some additional time with the main scheme, then replay my hammer. Valkyrie attaches the Deathblow to the Ancient Warrior, then plays Have At Thee to overkill some damage. This triggers Valhalla, drawing me another copy of Have At Thee, and that extra point of life is short-lived as I break the Temporal Shield with a basic attack. I ready and draw Clear the Area, Godlike Stamina, One Way or Another, and Godlike Stamina, and Valkyrie draws Fluid Motion, Flight of the Valkyrier, Dragon Fang, and Jane Foster Thor. With the main scheme being at 11 of 14, Thor gives Kang the attack boost and only takes 2 damage after making a basic defense. Unfortunately, we drew a boost card that gives Kang another tough status card. Valkyrie also makes a basic defense, but the damage is too high and she gets knocked out of the game. I'm going to be honest, I do not have a lot of high hopes for this, but let's play it out just to see where it goes, do some reconnaissance, and try our best. My first encounter card is Past Machinations, a treachery with Incite 1 that also pushes us to assign another obligation to ourselves. I'm going to be honest, there's not a lot of options that are good here, but I think that we want to get weakened. Depowered is going to make it so that we can't play our own cards, and while this will deal damage to us whenever we use a basic power, we can at least move forward and see how the game goes. And my second card is Time Travel Tactics, which surges into Assault. At this point, I have no choice but to place one more threat on the main scheme and see how it goes. And I go down to 1, meaning that my obligation plus Time Travel Tactics is going to cause me to take indirect damage defeating Thor. Well, that was underwhelming, but kind of expected. We were testing out the waters, and unfortunately we flamed out in miraculous time. But I think it's time to look at what aspects we're using, because I do think there's a lot of value in having a Justice deck, but I'm okay decoupling Thor from that role and maybe trying out a leadership deck, because while it won't have the same raw power as a Justice deck, it should still help us to mitigate the threat of all the side schemes we're running into, and hopefully with enough bodies on the table will allow him to also deal with the obligations that have really made themselves very present in this scenario. One of Thor's major setbacks is his smaller hand size, which restricts him from access to more expensive allies. But with the recent release of Magneto, we've been given a whole suite of cards that should work with the existing card pool to allow us to access allies like Captain Marvel and Heimdall. This is a deck titled Going Down Swinging. It uses allies not only to add additional thwarting and attacking, but also to buff up Thor's already impressive stats to hopefully make better strides in the game. And while I really love Valkyrie in an aggression deck, we need to be looking at a more long-term game plan. And that's why I would like to try a protection deck. This should allow us to use cards like Hard Knocks and Muster Courage to get tough status cards onto our heroes, prolonging the game and preserving their life totals. Valkyrie's opening hand is Hard Knocks, the Power of Protection, What Doesn't Kill Me, What Doesn't Kill Me, Visit Valhalla, and Daredevil. With Thor leaning into Squared Off and Defender of the Nine Realms, it's pretty much guaranteed that we are going to have a target for Hard Knocks, which means that Power Protection is also going to be helpful here. Additionally, What Doesn't Kill Me is a card that I want in the long term. It's just unfortunate that I drew 2 copies immediately. I choose to keep these and mulligan the rest away, drawing Hard Knocks, Chooser the Slain, and Have At Thee. Thor starts off with Black Panther, Squared Off, Quinn Carrier, White Tiger, and Goliath. This feels like an embarrassment of riches. I'm really only going to get one of these allies into play, and each has their advantages. Goliath can start the game off with a huge amount of damage, and Black Panther is strong, but I would rather have him in a few turns. In the end, I keep White Tiger to pair with Squared Off in hopes that she will leave me with more options going forward. From there, I mulligan into Defender of the Nine Realms, Lightning Strike, and Captain Marvel. Valkyrie opens the game by playing Chooser the Slain, grabbing Chitauri Soldier and drawing me 2 copies of Taunt. I attach the Deathglow to Chitauri Soldier and make a basic attack to break the tough on Kang. Then I play Hard Knocks, defeating the Chitauri Soldier and readying up with the Deathglow. I then use Taunt as I'm protected with the tough status and draw into Ironheart, Genius, and Muster Courage. I love that this scenario gives new context to cards like Muster Courage and White Tiger. 3 stages means more chances to play them and a wider range of their effects. Unfortunately, at this point, I will readily admit Muster Courage is overcosted here. I make a basic attack and give Valkyrie a tough status with Muster Courage. Thor starts out by finding Mjolnir and playing Squared Off. Once he's actually in hero form, he goes to hero form. Just don't worry about it. I find Macrobots and draw Squared Off and Energy. Then play Captain Marvel, finding 2 energy resources from the top 4 cards of my deck. This means Kang goes down to 19 hit points and gets stunned. I put White Tiger into play, drawing Professor X, and use him as a resource to play out Mjolnir. White Tiger and Thor attack to take out the Macrobots, and Carol takes Kang to 16. Then I ready up and draw a new hand of Have at Thee, Hard Knocks, Godlike Stamina, and Chooser of the Slain for Valkyrie, and the Triskelion, Lady Sif, Hammer Throw, and Hammer Throw for Thor. Moving to the villain phase, Kang's first attack is stopped by the stun card, and White Tiger defends against the boosted attack for Thor. And the encounter cards are Stolen Memories for Valkyrie, taking away the top 8 cards of her deck, and Energy Burst for Thor, an attack that we have to defend against, while also giving the main scheme an additional threat. Thor's turn starts by having Captain Marvel break the tough on Kang, and Thor plays Hammer Throw, bringing Kang to 8 hit points. This is the point when I remember that I have once again overlooked the encounter cards that each hero was supposed to get during setup. Thor gets Frozen in Time, which will eat up a ready, and Valkyrie draws Assault, meaning that her tough status will be eaten up by the incoming attack from Kang. Valkyrie begins her turn by playing Chooser of the Slain, pulling the Chitauri Soldier into play before making a basic attack against Kang. I attach the death blow to the soldier and defeat it with Hard Knocks, nabbing another tough status and a ready. I attach the death blow to Kang and make a basic attack, bringing Kang to 4 hit points. I ready up and Thor draws God of Thunder, Heimdall, and Kid Omega, while Valkyrie draws into Established Perimeter, Dragonfang, the Night Nurse, Flight of the Valkyrier, and Brother Voodoo. I am very happy that we have at least one more turn before we need to fight stage 2 of Kang. I honestly don't know if we have the board presence to handle what's coming. The villain phase consists of Thor bumping up the threat and taking an undefended attack for 4, and Valkyrie will be boosting Kang's attack as she has a tough status as protection. And the encounter cards are Advance for Thor, bringing us to 10 of 14, and Manipulated Time Stream for Valkyrie, which misses her hand and surges into Future Weapon. Valkyrie plays out Dragonfang and Flight of the Valkyrier to open up her turn, then makes an attack against Kang, triggering his When Defeated ability. This means that at the end of the turn, we're going to get rid of the main scheme and move forward. For anybody that has not played this scenario, it's about to get wild. Thor uses his turn to play out God of Thunder and Mjolnir before changing to Alter Ego and readying up. Valkyrie draws Annabelle Riggs, Aragorn, Have at Thee, Power of Protection, and Valhalla. And Thor draws the Power of Leadership, God of Thunder, Hammer Throw, Thor's Helmet, and Lightning Strike. Alright, let's move to stage. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Really? So yay, we've made it to stage 2. And in most cases, this would mean that we're making our final push. But unfortunately, Kang is a little bit different. Here, we need to get through all stages and battle across all of time and space. Luckily, we've been able to keep the side schemes off the table, so we won't be accruing any acceleration tokens. But now Thor and Valkyrie are split up into separate game areas. Valkyrie facing off against Immortus and Thor facing off against Rama-Tut. Thor's first villain phase sees Rama-Tut scheme for 2, then scheme again off of Advance, bringing the threat to 6 of 9 and revealing our second encounter card, Time Travel Hijinks, which takes our God of Thunder. This is not a great start. I remove the obligation and play out Thor's Helmet, bumping his hit points up to 15. Then I change to hero form and break the tough on Rama-Tut. Then I ready up and draw a fresh hand of Sneak Attack, Maria Hill, Sneak Attack, and 4 Asgard. On the villain phase, I take an undefended attack for 4 and draw my encounter card, Corrupted Time Stream, discarding 4 Asgard at random. On my turn, I use the remainder of my hand to play out Maria Hill and draw Call for aid. Maria takes out Corrupted Time Stream, and Thor makes a basic attack against Rama-Tut, bringing his hit points to 15. Then I end my turn and draw a new hand of You Got This, Asgard, Defender of the Nine Realms, and Beta Ray Bill. We're in dire straits at 8 of 9 threat, so I have Maria Hill take the attack from the villain, but the boost ability stuns me, complicating everything. And my encounter card is Macrobots, drawing me into Clue and the Power of Leadership. I play out Clue, drawing my last card in my deck, Sneak Attack. I then play Defender of the Nine Realms, finding Tyrannosaurus Rex and bringing our threat to 5 of 9. We draw into God of Thunder and You Got This. Clue makes a basic attack against the Macrobots, and I sneak attack in Beta Ray Bill, defeating the Macrobots and removing 2 threat from the main scheme. I play out God of Thunder and end my turn drawing Goliath, Quinn Carrier, Call for Aid, and Black Panther. Thor takes an undefended attack for 2, and the boost ability stuns me. Again, Clue defends against the attack from the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I draw into my encounter cards, Temporal Shield and Pinned Down. I clear the stun on Thor and play out Black Panther, attaching You Got This. Black Panther thwarts away the side scheme, and I change to alter ego form before ending my turn, drawing White Tiger, You Got This, Squared Off, the Triskelion, and Hammer Throw. On the villain phase, Ramatut schemes, bringing us to 7 of 9 threat. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is incapable of scheming, and my encounter card is depowered. I need to get rid of depowered fast, but all I have is Hammer. Oh, come on. Really? It's a long story. Oh. Oh no. My battle against Immortus starts by taking an undefended attack for 4 and resolving the encounter cards Corrupted Time Stream and Caught Off Guard, meaning we're losing the Power of Protection and Flight of the Valkyrier. I play out Annabelle Riggs and use both characters to remove Corrupted Time Stream. Then switch to Alter Ego and pay to discard Stolen Memories and draw into my remaining deck. Strength, Quinn Carrier, Victor Mancha, Have at Thee, Valhalla, and What Doesn't Kill Me. During the villain phase, Immortus schemes for 4, and my encounter cards are Macrobots and an Ancient Warrior. After planning out my turn, Brunhild recovers, and I use Annabelle's action to grab Visit Valhalla. I change the hero form and attach the Deathblow to Ancient Warrior. I play out Valhalla and Have at Thee, taking out the Ancient Warrior and the Tough status via Overkill. I ready up and trigger Valhalla, drawing into Nick Fury. I Deathblow the Macrobots, defeating them, and finally get a basic attack in against Immortus, bringing him to 15. I ready up and draw into Valkyrie's Spear, Shield Maiden, the Night Nurse, Daredevil, and Have at Thee. Annabelle takes the attack from Immortus, and my counter card is Past Machinations, bumping up the maid scheme and putting an obligation into play. I hate to grab Stolen Memories again, but I feel like that might be the only benign option that we have. I really don't want to run through my deck again, but in this circumstance I think I have to, because even Weakened is going to whittle away my life total if I'm not careful. On my turn, I play out Daredevil, and they thwart the main scheme. I play out Valkyrie's Spear and make a basic thwart with my hero, then end my turn drawing into Energy, Shield Maiden, Godlike Stamina, Chooser of the Slain, and Have at Thee. I really don't want to sit on Stolen Memories, but I also don't want to scheme out. In a situation like this, we need to prioritize our hit points over the main scheme. Getting back to Thor is our prime objective right now. When Immortus activates against me, I have Daredevil defend and draw my encounter card, Assault, resulting in another attack that I choose to take undefended, bringing me to 8 hit points. I use my turn to make a basic attack against Immortus and play Chooser of the Slain. We've been down this road before, and so I think we're going to take the Chitauri Soldier. We have all the setup we need to make them the perfect punching bag. I attach the Deathblow and Have at Thee delivers overkill damage to Immortus, and we ready back up, with Valhalla drawing us into the Power of Protection. I make a basic attack, ready up with What Doesn't Kill Me, and then make one more basic attack. Putting the Deathblow onto Immortus would have been a very good call. Unfortunately, we didn't do that. You live and you learn. I changed Alter Ego, recovering the last bit of health with Godlike Stamina, and end my turn drawing Hard Knocks, Genius, the Power of Protection, Chooser of the Slain, Hard Knocks, and Black Widow. The villain phase begins and we get schemed out. And our encounter card is Advance, which really doesn't matter because we've already hit the threat threshold, so it's just going to overfill anyway. And in this moment, I feel really discouraged because we were so close. But I won't even pretend that I noticed that the Deathblow attached to the villain would have made that extra 2 points of damage and defeated him. It's a complicated game with a lot going on. The problem is, when you play to your outs, sometimes you look like a buffoon and other times you look like a genius. If I was assuming that I was going to draw the Power of Protection and didn't, I would just look like I was making wasteful moves. But if I did play to that and drew Power of Protection, it would look like this super genius moment. But time breaks and we accrue a copy of Kang's Dominion under the main scheme, which we may see later. Existence fades out and we find ourselves back with Thor. I need to get rid of Depowered fast, but all I have is Hammer. Oh, come on. Really? It's a long story. With our team united, Brunhild starts her turn by discarding stolen memories, then changing to hero form. She attacks to break the tough on Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then plays Hard Knocks, delivering 4 damage. Odin's Son discards Hammer Throw to get rid of Depowered, then changes to hero form and plays Squared Off, finding an Ancient Warrior. I take 2 damage from Quick Strike, and draw into Defender of the Nine Realms and Captain Marvel. I play out White Tiger and draw into Hammer Throw. I should have drawn 2 cards, and looking at the footage, I just don't think that I did. White Tiger attacks the villain and gets defeated when running into the Temporal Shield. I thwart with Thor, using You Got This to bump up his stats with Black Panther. I ready and Hammer Throw through the T-Rex, sending excess damage to Rama Tut. I play out Mjolnir and defeat the Ancient Warrior. Valkyrie draws through the remainder of her deck and accrues an encounter card, resulting in a hand of Hard Knocks, Taunt, Hard Knocks, Muster Courage, and Visit Valhalla. Then Thor draws Maria Hill for Asgard, Defender of the Nine Realms, and Heimdall. On the villain phase, Valkyrie takes an undefended attack, going to 8, and Thor defends, landing at 6 hit points. Valkyrie's encounter cards are Ancient Warrior and Past Machinations. This is not an easy decision, but I think after some thought, Valkyrie should take Depowered, as she only has Visit Valhalla, which we can play around and then ditch at the end of our turn. And for Thor, I think that we can take Stolen Memories, and it won't be much of an inconvenience. Thor's encounter card is Energy Blast, causing an attack that I choose to have Valkyrie defend against, taking her to 4 hit points. Thor starts his turn out by playing Maria Hill, drawing Thor into God of Thunder and Valkyrie into Strength. Thor plays out God of Thunder, and Maria Hill thwarts the main scheme. Then he changes to Odin's Son and passes the turn. There is one oversight that I didn't consider when I took Depowered. Valkyrie cannot play the Death Glow while she has that obligation. I decide to use Hard Knocks to defeat the Ancient Warrior and gain a Tough. Then I taunt Rama Tut, drawing into Godlike Stamina, What Doesn't Kill Me, and Quinn Carrier. I play What Doesn't Kill Me, recovering to 6 hit points and readying up. Valkyrie attacks Rama Tut and plays Godlike Stamina to recover 2 more hit points. I ready up and Thor draws the remainder of his deck, Lady Sif, Hammer Throw, Professor X, The Power of Leadership, and Goliath, while Valkyrie draws Established Perimeter, Victor Mancha, Energy, Chooser of the Slain, and Have At Thee. My decisions really come back to bite me when Rama Tut schemes for a boosted 4 off of time travel tactics, meaning that we are done with Rama Tut at the end of the villain phase, and we have another Kang's Dominion to deal with. Valkyrie defends for 2, taking a total of 3 damage, and I draw the encounter cards Chitauri Soldier and Pinned Down. But the real development is that we've been tossed once more through time, landing at the site of Kang's final step in his plan. And let me just get ahead of this right now. Yes, the main scheme asked us to grab our Nemesis minions, but technically Enchantress wasn't revealed, so we shouldn't have grabbed Seduced. Even if that wasn't the case, I think it's very clear that we're going to need to get to work to clean up this board state. I start by changing Valkyrie to Alter Ego and discarding Have At Thee to remove Depowered. Then some more additional cards to get rid of Seduced before playing out Victor Mancha and ending my turn. On Thor's turn, we play out Kid Omega and spend a wild resource to remove 1 threat from each scheme. We then remove Time Travel Hijinks and Stolen Memories before recovering up to 10 hit points. From there, Kid Omega and Maria Hill thwart Pinned Down. I ready up drawing Brother Voodoo, Nick Fury, Shield Maiden, Annabelle Riggs, Muster Courage, and Black Widow for Valkyrie, and the Triskelion, White Tiger, Quinn Carrier, You Got This, and Defender of the Nine Realms for Thor. During the villain phase, Kang schemes against Valkyrie for 3. Then the engaged minions add 3 more, bringing us to 9 of 20 threat. Kang then schemes for 5 against Thor, and his engaged minions bring the total threat to 17 of 20. This is not good. Thor's encounter card is Time Portal, and Valkyrie draws Stolen Memories. I cannot afford to stay in Alter Ego. In fact, having my heroes in Alter Ego to begin with may have been a bit of hubris, because look at where we are now. But I also don't think that both my heroes could have been in hero form and actually survived the villain phase. Plus, we've got all these obligations to worry about. Alright, here we go. Thor changes to hero form and thwarts away Pinned Down, using You Got This to get her ready. I then use Defender of the Nine Realms to find Macrobots, bringing the main scheme to 14 and drawing into Black Panther and Hammer Throw. After some consideration, I play out White Tiger and draw into Captain Marvel, You Got This, and Sneak Attack. I play out Sneak Attack, putting Captain Marvel into play, and I only reveal one energy resource off the top of my deck, meaning that I will only be able to direct 3 damage somewhere. So I use that damage to defeat the Chitauri soldier. I use You Got This to empower Thor and take out the Enchantress. This feels a little wasteful, but in all honesty, this was my 3rd game playing with You Got This, so I just hadn't gotten the sequencing down yet. White Tiger thwarts the main scheme to 12, and Thor attacks the Macrobots, leaving them at 1 hit point before passing the turn to Valkyrie. Valkyrie gets Stolen Memories discarded, then changes to hero form and plays Nick Fury, drawing me Hard Knocks, Flight of the Valkyrier, and Daredevil. I attach the Deathglow to the Chitauri soldier and defeat it, getting a free hit point back and drawing into Genius. This allows me to play out Flight of the Valkyrier and attach the Deathglow to the Microbots and defeat it, and take 5 threat off the main scheme. I want to take out Loki, but his when defeated trigger means that I could fumble my entire turn. Nick Fury gets a thwart in for 2, and Valkyrie makes a basic attack against Loki before I ready up, drawing the rest of Valkyrie's deck: Aragorn, Chooser of the Slain, Taunt, and Godlike Stamina. And Thor draws Asgard, Defender of the Nine Realms, Hammer Throw, and 4 Asgard. Nick Fury defends for Thor, and White Tiger defends for Valkyrie. Then I remember that Loki would have made an attack, so I have Victor Mancha take that. Thor's encounter cards are Assault, causing me to add threat to the main scheme to minimize damage, and my second encounter card is Assault. Oh my god, why? Why? I need to defend here, and I bump up the total threat to 10 of 20. Luckily, that prevents all the damage. And Valkyrie's encounter cards are Depowered, a minor setback, and Ancient Warrior, a minion with Quick Strike, meaning that she is taking 2 damage. Well, that was brutal. But in all honesty, we were going up against 4 encounter cards. On Valkyrie's turn, I toss the Deathglow onto Loki and defeat him for good, drawing Chooser of the Slain and gaining a hit point back. I know, I've already gone over the fact that I had Depowered, couldn't play the Deathglow, but you know what? I kind of invalidated the game state before with Seduced, so the karma is just kind of balancing out. I attack to take out the Ancient Warrior and change to Alter Ego so that I can discard Depowered. Thor starts his turn out by playing Defender of the Nine Realms, finding Ancient Warrior and taking 2 damage. This draws me into You've Got This and Goliath. I play out Asgard and end my turn. After readying up, Valkyrie draws the Power Protection, Established Perimeter, Shield Maiden, and Energy. And Thor draws his existing deck of Defender of the Nine Realms and Heimdall. Then I shuffle up and draw White Tiger. During the villain phase, Kang schemes for 5. Then Victor Mancha defends for Thor, and Thor goes to 2 hit points from the Ancient Warrior. Then my encounter cards are Time Travel Hijinks for Valkyrie and Weakened and Future Weapon for Thor. So wait, when do we get a door? I don't know, at some point in the future? At this point, I have to take a step back and really think about the game state. I have so much threat to work through on the Kang's Dominions. And then there's the main scheme. What am I supposed to manifest to solve this problem? On Thor's turn, I play out Defender of the Nine Realms, finding Macrobots. This draws me into the Triskelion and Sneak Attack. I play out White Tiger, drawing into Squared Off, Energy, and God of Thunder. You know, I just don't think I removed the threat with Defender of the Nine Realms. It's my bad. But I do thwart Kang's Dominion and accrue a face-down encounter card. And then Thor plays You Got This, thwarting down the other Kang's Dominion. I play out Sneak Attack and put Heimdall into play and examine the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, discarding Time Travel Hijinks. Heimdall defeats the remaining Kang's Dominion, adding 1 more face-down encounter card to Thor's plate. I then change Alter Ego and recover back up to 5 hit points. After that, Heimdall is discarded as part of the fine print of Sneak Attack. Valkyrie starts her turn by removing Time Travel Hijinks and playing out Chooser of the Slain. I grab Chitauri Soldier and draw into Hard Knocks and Strength. I defeat the Chitauri Soldier and trigger Valhalla to gain life and draw into Have At Thee. Valkyrie thwarts 1 more time and then plays Aragorn. I ready up and Thor draws Sneak Attack, Goliath, Lady Sif, Sneak Attack, and Clue. Oh, and then You Got This because Asgard is in play. Then Valkyrie draws Brother Voodoo, What Doesn't Kill Me, Hard Knocks, and Black Widow. But it doesn't really matter because after adding threat from the first step of the villain phase, I realize that the game is over. Even without any modifications, the main scheme is going to threat out. And with that, Kang gets away with his conquest of time and space. And there we have it, another Asgard versus the universe in the books. And we will return. We will bring the righteous hammer of Thor to Kang, and we will avenge ourselves. This project started in November, just after Thanksgiving, and it is now March. And I hope that that shows just the amount of labor of love that this is, because I've put out other content. I could have just sidelined everything to just solo work on this. But everything was on these shoulders. Every word that was typed in the script came from here. Every editing decision came from here. The gameplay, for better or worse, is my own gameplay. Music's not mine. Somebody else made that, but that's in the YouTube library. But every music composition thing was from here. Please like, share, subscribe, share these videos as much as possible if you were at all impressed by anything that happened here, because I'm trying to make the best Marvel Champions content I can. And I'm making a lot of it. Now I've got these gameplay videos, I've got new player guides, I'm writing twice a month. I love Marvel Champions, and I would love to spread it to as many people as possible. So let's get to 500 subscribers. That's so close to 1,000 subscribers. And until next time, I thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.